Hey you guys, trooping along, the most targeted citizen. Hope you're having a good day. You're a little unbalanced, kind of like me. They tore down, told you guys about the neighbor down here who didn't have my help anymore after I was trespassed from that property, unfortunately. So they tore down this trailer. Man's homeless now. Family is homeless because I wasn't able to help them keep the field mowed. That's all their rent was. The mother had cancer and she passed away, and the son, who's old enough to take care of himself, wasn't old enough to take care of himself, or wasn't able to. So I wasn't able to help them keep their yard mowed, so they were evicted, and the demolition crew come in and took the house down. In the midst of taking down the house, I went over there, talked to the demolition guys, got their card, because everybody needs somebody with a track hoe. I need a track hoe. Get on the track hoe! And I got all these cinder blocks. I didn't want the broken pieces, but the old man was throwing them on, and I didn't want to be rude. So I got all those cinder blocks. As you can see, it's a lot of weight on my little bitty trailer. So I've got to stack them off because I need my trailer. I can't have my trailer lumped up like this. But my trailer's been reinforced before. I think back when I was able to work, I broke the trailer right here. It bent it up bad, and I welded the brackets on and fixed it. But today's mission is to get that off, and it is hard to do because my shoulder is just destroyed. There's no right way for me to lay on my bed. There's no right way for me to sit. There's no right way for me to move it. It is not. I mean, it's just gone. I'm just, my body's wrecked because of all the years of hard work. So I'm gonna let you watch. It's been a rough morning. Got fired up first thing this morning by watching Criminal Cops. Anybody watching what's going on in the country? Oh yeah, by the way, if you look at my community page, I don't know why I can't see my own community page, but on my community page you can see the planes round and round and round all day long, non-stop, never ending. So I've got to get a petition together and see if I can get them removed from coming over our country. I need to get a petition to go around to all the neighbors and see if they'll sign it to stop these planes from going round and around. So I got to work on that. Amongst all the other things that I have to be doing, I found a beautiful piece of property. I'm not going to give any clues on it, but it's going to break me if I buy it. Completely break me. I actually had to borrow some money. And I'll be dead broke, and I don't want to be dead broke because I need money to build my house. It costs money to build a house. But I gotta get out of here. Time is running out. The world is literally crumbling. If you're not aware, just as I foretold you 3 years ago, the banks are crumbling right now. 5 banks so far crumbling. And the government's saying, how are we going to stop this? Oh, I know, we'll silence them. Let's get on social media and stop people from knowing. Your government is silencing people. Is that weird to you? It shouldn't be. It's been happening for a long time. A very long time. These cinder blocks, I think cinder blocks now are like $2.50 a piece. And I probably got 100 on here. My body feels like I've got 1,000. So, banks are crumbling just like I told you was going to happen. Everybody says, nope, nope, nope. I mean, really, I've been right about everything, guys. Everything I told you. And here's the number one thing. I told you from Millennial Millie, if you haven't liked, subbed, and shared with Millennial Millie, go over there and tell her I sent you. She's the one that broke the story from CIA operatives, whistleblowers, that the U.S. government has an algorithm now that picks juries. Why do you need a jury picked? Because once there is no law in America, there is no justice. The criminals run free because the good guys like me, we don't break the law. Mainly because we don't want to be arrested and sit in jail. Criminals don't care. So with this algorithm, they can set all of their terrorist buddies free. They can literally set all of their terrorist buddies free. That's what you're seeing across the country with Antifa being set free. They did an event in California. The president or a member of power of UC Davis in California Charlie Kirk was coming. Charlie Kirk's a milquetoast rhino. He says he's not a rhino, but he's still very Republican and very young. He's like 21, 22. Very young, but he is very intelligent. So that guy comes out, the spokesperson for UC Davis, goes online and says Charlie Kirk is inciting violence, and he is a proponent of lynching transgender people. Yeah. So of course what happens? The arm of the Democrat Party, not the Klan, the Antifa, rolls in, commits great violence against them. Weird how that works. And what do we know about Antifa? They're sponsored by the Democrat Party and George Soros, Kamala Harris, etc., etc. They commit crimes and then they get away with it. Wow, that's a heavy center block. Wow, that's a real one there. So they commit crimes and they get away with it. So that's what's going to happen. Just like the Summer of Love 2020. All those people during those riots, hardly none of them got convicted. Just like the ones who went to the Supreme Court Justice's house, threatened to kill them. No charges. No charges. But they're coming after parents who want to protect their children. America's fallen. It's over. What gets me about it is all these so-called heroes of law enforcement won't say a word about it. You know why? I'll give you a very good example that makes sense in America. In America, the Constitution, the way it was written with the 3 levels of government, judicial, legislative, and executive, the number one control on the government by the other branches is the power of the purse. Power of the purse. You control the purse, you can control behavior. Well, as we've seen, the Republicans took over the House, and they said, well, we need to defund the ATF. Well, they didn't take their money away. We need to defund the FBI. Well, they didn't take their money away. Why? Because at the same time they're calling for all this defunding, they back the blue. They back the blue no matter what they do. Anytime the blue does something wrong, that's an isolated incident. That's one bad apple. When no, the whole vine is rotten. And nobody's willing to say that. See? Controlling the purse. So the Republicans won't do it. Well, here's the same with law enforcement and with Antifa and with the corrupt judges. If you know what's going on in the Senate, they're confirming 26 radical far-left judges that are blatantly racist, that hate America, that hate white people, that hate everybody. But they flood the zone, and guess what happens? They have to vote for them. There's no one else, so they got to put them in a position. They don't have to. But Ted Cruz is the most milquetoast guy out there. He puts on a big speech about how he's trying to change it and he wants to shut them all down. And then in the end, he just caves. Guys, I'm not going to get my toes shot off and then say, oh, sorry, I was wrong, as I hobble away. I'm going to stand up until they put a bullet in my head. It's called being brave, being a man. James O'Keefe, his organization, Project Veritas, was infiltrated, and they took over the board and fired him from his own company. Power of the purse. They got in, they took power, and they controlled the purse. No one will control the out-of-control government that we have by using the tools that the founders gave us. So America falls faster. Now these banks are collapsing right and left. And just like my analogy when it comes to farmers, you see farmers got pimped out. People don't understand this. Farmers were struggling. I remember when I was young, it was 84 when they had Farm Aid and Willie Nelson and all of them got together and had a big concert to help fund our farmers. Well, that's before all the big government subsidies. Well, you know what is a cancer to our farmers that is destroying our food supply right now? The government subsidies. You go to these farms and they take so much federal government money that they can't even wipe the toilet paper they wipe their butts with is paid by the government. So what happens when the government pays you? You're controlled by them. So all these farms, and I watch a farm channel called Larson's Farms. I told you guys about that young man, Chet, whose wife died last year, 2 years ago. Those guys got millions of dollars of tractors and backhoes and the best equipment on the market. But guess what happens if they speak up? government cuts them subsidies off. And when the government cuts the subsidies off, guess what happens? All that equipment that is leased and not owned by them disappears. So then they got all these crops in the ground and they ain't got no way to harvest. The power of the purse. You see, the Chinese Communist Party's done this all over the world. They went to Africa and they wanted the raw minerals. China's smart. China's smarter than what we got. They want the minerals. So every country in the world has got minerals. China owns it. China owns more minerals in America than America does. So China goes to Africa and says, hey, we're going to build infrastructure. We're going to build you a big railroad. We're going to build you trains to get everybody around. We're going to take care of you. Knowing that the African is so corrupt that the people in power are just going to take the payouts, but there'll be no one to pay them back. So when there's no one to pay them back, guess what happens? China goes in and takes everything. China owns it all. So Africa, in a sense, is owned by, you guessed it, China. The same in our world. Every safeguard in our country that is meant to protect us is being co-opted and owned by the big machine. And once the money's gone, you can't operate. You want me to tell you how I found that out? Because they did it to me. They terrorized me, stole my business, stole my home, stole my property, stole my children, they stole my will. So now, the only way I have to fight is with my voice, and they still silence me. So what did they do? What they tested on me, they're using in China, and they're bringing back to American seas, in between the coasts of America, the social credit system. So they destroyed me, they destroyed my reputation, they destroyed my ability to make money, they destroyed my will to live. And everybody else just says, oh, he's just mentally ill. Well, no, a systematic destruction of my life. They take it all and leave nothing. I thank God, and I should thank Him even more than I do, for all that I've been able to maintain since having my life stolen away. I still have a few things like my Bronco and my tools and, you know, a couple of parts of motorcycles. Those things shouldn't matter. But in America, if you don't have money, you don't have any power. At all. Russell Brand, you know, he's a satanic comedian from Great Britain, the UK. He's been making a whirlwind tour. I think he's advertising a book or a TV show or something. He's sitting there saying how and what companies have bought off, our Democrats and Republicans have bought off government. Well, it's a 50-50 split between all the big companies that are destroying America. Big Pharma, military-industrial complex. The what? Power of the purse. That's what's happening. And everybody's just sitting back thinking they're going to be able to stop it. The destruction of America is at hand. It's falling, and it is so heartbreaking to watch the country that I love, fairy tale. We live in a fairy tale land. So much of a fairy tale that it's not even real. And I assure you, America's not real. America's finished. It's been destroyed. It's the pain that's coming now. What amazes me is, and I understand that my rhetoric to law enforcement is explosive. My rhetoric is explosive because when you've been silent so much, you have to speak louder, and sometimes you have to say things that shock the system to get the attention. I will go shy from committing a crime with my mouth. I'm going to tell the truth. What I don't understand is, I would say the majority of law enforcement probably agrees with me, besides my anti-cop agenda, but they don't understand they are the arm of the government that's taking away rights. The police are. They're the ones at the ground level taking the most rights from American citizens. Why would the government make it so easy to get a felony? So they can take away your rights to vote, take away your rights to bear arms, take away your rights to be a free American. That's why it's so easy to get a felony in America. Alan Dershowitz said the average American commits 4 felonies a day. That's the average American, not average criminal. Average American. But you'll have the blue bag cop-sucking supporters. I back the blue. All these Donald Trump supporters are the worst. They are so freaking blind. I honestly thought, and listen, 5 years ago when I started speaking out about the corrupt state and law enforcement being the Gestapo of the 21st century, it was me by myself. against all the bluebackers. It was me alone fighting these bluesbacks, courtesy of Eric Brent. It was me alone fighting it, but now, what law enforcement doesn't see, and they may be now starting to see, the tide has turned. And now when you visit common senses, the bluesback cop-sucking Donald Trump supporters, they are now the minority. Because when we supposedly have this scamdemic and cops take it in their power because they're cowardly and the power of the purse, they don't want to lose their pensions, are arresting mothers at public parks because a government mandate said they can't be there? Seriously? That wasn't a bridge too far? What people don't understand is I've watched some of the Nuremberg trials, and I need to go back and watch them again. And every American should watch the Nuremberg. Every law enforcement officer in America should be forced to watch the Nuremberg trials. Because the number one thing that came out of the Nuremberg trials was you can't blame it on taking orders. I was just taking orders. Oh, no. The Nuremberg trial says you cannot do that. If you have an unconstitutional order, you must refuse it. Well, I might get fired. Well, saying that makes you, it elevates the amount of your cowardice. I am so sick of hearing officer safety from people, especially law enforcement. Officer safety. There's not a law on the books that says officer safety. It's officer cowardice. Imagine being so scared. I'm scared somebody's going to walk up to me. I'm scared somebody's going to walk up to me. I must be the bravest SOB on the planet. There ain't a man on this planet that I'm scared to walk up to. I'll walk up to any man. I don't care. Worst case scenario, they're going to kill me. Best case scenario, they're going to agree with my point of view. Because when you stand on truth, it's easy to be influential. It's easy to be, well, I would say it's easy for me to be brave when I stand on truth, but look at all the cowards out there who refuse to stand on it. Look at all the cowards who, especially law enforcement. Well, I got that pension. I can't stop because I got a pension. If I do wrong, they'll take my pension away. They'll take my money away. That's officer cowardice. And that shows you right then and there, any cop that's not willing to do the right thing because of a pension, that tells you right then and there that they're not physically and mentally equipped to go out and find another job. See, if I was healthy and my body wasn't destroyed, because what I'm doing right now is, you don't see the immense pain that I'm in because I'm struggling to do this. I can't hardly breathe, as you hear. My shoulder's wrecked. My back is wrecked. This is killing my body. But if not for my health, I could go out right now, besides gang stalking, of course, I could probably go out and get a job in 10 to 15 different fields. Why? Because hall monitor / babysitter / the destroyer of lives doesn't really look good on a resume. But exactly, law enforcement on a resume. Did you guys hear about the black guy? I think he's down in Florida. My phone fell. Hold on, guys. I'm coming. There's a black guy down in Florida. Hope I got to turn the right way. And this guy got fired at a police department because he lied about everything on his application. He gets fired. Then they catch him like a week later, directing traffic, pretending to be a cop again. Law enforcement can't even do the simplest duty of checking to see if a guy was a law enforcement officer. You can't even go through a resume to figure that out. Seriously? That's crazy to me. That's insane. But who am I? I'm just a crazy guy on the interweb that talks about how bad I hate cops. I don't hate cops. I really don't. The reason for my exuberance and my zest to take down dirty law enforcement is because I love people. And I'm sick and tired of seeing innocent people victimized. There's a video that came out about 6 or 7 months ago on YouTube Shorts and on TikTok Shorts. It's nighttime. It's a white guy driving an old Ford truck. Cops pull him over. And he's sitting there screaming, please don't take my truck. I just can't afford it. This is all I got. This is all I have. And the man's just screaming from the bottom of his soul. Please don't take my truck. It's all I have. Law enforcement felt no pity. And I think the reason for pulling him over is because his tag was dead. You guys ever seen that movie with Samuel Jackson where he was on the way to custody court? And he got in a car wreck, I think with Ben Affleck or something. He got in a car wreck and didn't get to court in time. And because of that car wreck, it kept him from getting custody of his, I think, son who was in imminent harm. That's America today, where cops have the ability to decide who's guilty, or not who's guilty or innocent, but they have discretion. And yet, because they choose the promotion over the people, they will still arrest somebody without a crime present. Show me the victim. Victimless crimes. I'm telling you guys, and my pastor got a lot of heat over this, but he said you can't be a Democrat and be a Christian. You can't vote to murder babies in the womb and be a Christian. You can't do it. I'm going to expand that. You can't be a Christian and be an officer of the law. You cannot be a Christian and be a police officer. You can't. Because the job requires, and what is amazing that the Supreme Court said, law enforcement, you can lie to anybody you want just to get the conviction. Well, I'm sorry. In the Bible, it doesn't say liars go to hell, but law enforcement, you want to get your man, lie all you want. Sorry, the Bible doesn't say that. The Bible says liars will go to hell. It's a sad state of affairs. Law enforcement, you're on the wrong side of history. I'm sorry, you are. America's falling. It's currently falling. And because you're ill-equipped to get another job, you're scared to lose the one you got. I don't care if somebody offers me $1 million. It's my faith. They tell me we're going to cut your head off if you don't deny Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stretch my neck out there a little bit longer. That's the difference between a man of moral character and values and a slave that's bought and paid for. I'm Stuart Fiddle on the Most Arrogant Citizen. Look out for part 2.